This is the brand new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6. The foldable market has been heating up for a while now, and this is Samsung's answer to that. There's a lot to unpack here today, but has Samsung really done enough with this? I'm Alex and I do down-to-earth tech videos. I was one of the lucky ones to be able to experience the Fold 6 firsthand at Samsung last week. We saw all the other products as well, and I have a video about those already up on the channel. But given how much I love the Fold, I really wanted to make this video fully dedicated to my favorite device. Now, I had to take a slight pause here because the Galaxy Watch Ultra and the Galaxy Ring quickly becoming some of my favorite Samsung products too. But my first impression of the Fold 6 was not how much lighter it is or how sleek it looks, but how snappy it feels. That Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy is definitely going to be a welcome upgrade here, especially if you're coming from a Fold 4 or older. I'm not saying my beloved Fold 5 here is slow at all, but I could definitely feel the difference just by opening and closing apps and using the features. Considering this was prior to launch as well, so the software is, the first version, I was really impressed. I'll be sharing specs throughout the video, but if you know me, you know that that's not the sort of thing that I like to focus on here on the channel. I always want to give you my raw experience, showing you what it really feels like using these devices the same way that you would use it without worrying too much about benchmark data and specs, unless it's really relevant. Using it for work and productivity is where the strengths of the Fold are, but I really like where Samsung is going with this when it comes to entertainment as well. And one thing that I can't wait to try out a bit more is gaming on this device. When you pair the latest processor with this massive screen and a new larger vapor chamber for cooling, it's definitely very cool. The Fold 5, to be fair, was already amazing, but with more powerful ray tracing and a faster processor, of course, this would be awesome. Just imagine those toilet breaks. Okay, never mind. Once I was adjusted to how fast it felt, I started to pay attention to the design aspect, and boy, Samsung continues to make this the classiest smartphone device out there, at least in my opinion. And I know what you might be thinking, oh, that screen is way too narrow, and they haven't really changed a lot. I do have some thoughts on that. Since trying the Z Fold 4, this narrow aspect is actually the main reason I like this device. The Fold 5 hasn't changed at all in that aspect. And without sounding like a walking advertisement here, the versatility that this gives you, being able to quickly operate it one-handed and get back to what you're doing quickly, and then opening it when you need it, for that little more immersive experience in here. Yeah, that flexibility is what makes the Fold so special. Even that sound of, it's so nice. I wonder how the Fold 6 would compare to something like an iPad mini, but I kind of already know that I'm getting a lot more functionality here with the Fold, especially when it comes to being just more productive. But I can't deny a wider display would appeal to a lot of people as well. I've asked my friends and family and people who I meet in the tech industry, and a lot of them will say that they would prefer, and you as well in my comments, they would prefer that wider display. And I have no doubts that Samsung are thinking about this. They haven't told me or showed me anything, to suggest it, but we know that they are always experimenting with, new form factors, new designs. And if anyone is going to be brave enough to, kind of launch a new foldable just to cater for a slice of the market, that's Samsung, History will show you that they're not afraid of entering new markets and just plugging that small gap with a new product completely, right? So it wouldn't surprise me. Let's have a quick emoji game here. Leave a chocolate bar emoji with your comment here if you prefer that wider display, or a butterfly emoji if you like the Fold design as it is. They have made it a little bit wider, by the way, but my guess, we will see a new Fold very soon alongside this one, but with that much wider screen. I just hope that they don't bring in a new Fold with the built-in S Pen and then leave this current model without the S Pen built in. So anyway, personally, I don't like that wider aspect. I've seen the foldable options from Oppo, Honor, Google, Pixel, of course. They are incredible in their own ways, but this right here, this shape, this weight and balance, yeah, this wins it for me. I think the Fold 6 is now so close to being the perfect device. Imagine if they did manage to include the S Pen, right, and give us the same camera as the S24 Ultra or even the S23 Ultra. Yeah, that would be insane. But you might be thinking, could Samsung have done more with the design? Yes, I think, with a titanium frame, for example, or perhaps an overhaul on the cameras, that would be nice too, but to have so much power and so much functionality in one device, yeah, I can see how difficult it must be if you are in that design team to keep developing this product without going overboard and therefore, increasing the costs. Another question that you might be asking yourself, at least I was when I was holding this phone, is the durability aspect, right? With the Fold being so thin and light, I did start to wonder how it would do from a longevity perspective. The Fold 4 and Fold 5 have been amazing in that aspect, especially considering, I use them with the skin instead of a case for most of the year. they both held up incredibly well. I haven't dropped either of them, but it's had a few bumps and knocks, and as you can see, my Fold 5 remained pretty good, and that was the case for my Fold 4 as well. No marks on the inner display either. On the Fold 5 I kept the protector that it comes with, and I recommend you do the same. And I didn't do that on the Fold 4. I actually removed the protector, which apparently is a cardinal sin, but it stayed in excellent shape even when I sold it after a year later. And talking about the display, when you do open the Fold 6 and start working on it, this is where the fold strengths really come into play. It's amazing to think that, I'm not just saying this by the way, but I didn't even try to feel or look for the crease. It's obviously there and you can obviously feel it, but it's such a bright and smooth display that I'm not joking. You completely forget that this thing actually folds. It's incredible. It looks like a single sheet of glass. But when it comes to software, Samsung continues to push the envelope too with this form factor mixed with One UI 6 for foldable. They really molded Android to this something quite unique for the foldables and fully taking advantage of this bad boy here, the S Pen. With Galaxy AI, there are things in there that you could say are just nice to haves or even gimmicks, but some features like writing assist are extremely useful. So useful that even Apple are going to be doing that soon with Siri. But for this launch, Samsung are bringing in some new AI features as well, and when you pair those with this form factor and the S Pen, you get some really cool results. I just did a video on how AI could be killing creativity in future. Well, this is a great example of the opposite, how AI could be potentially encouraging creativity, being able to draw something on a picture and have AI magically produce whatever you drew. Yeah, I can see so many useful use cases for this. I do a lot of this in Photoshop using prompts now, just using kind of generative AI, but to be able to actually draw what you want, the size and shape that I want, or whatever it is in a picture to modify it. Yeah, that's much better and more intuitive as well, especially if you have that creative mind, Sometimes it's just easier to draw what you want, exactly the size and shape and where you want it, rather than trying to explain it in a prompt. But those AI features are not just there for creatives. Samsung really thought of day-to-day human interactions here, and again, this is where AI can be great, making our lives a little bit easier in our day-to-day interactions. And this one feature called Interpreter makes the Fold 6 and the Flip 6 as well the absolute perfect companion when you go traveling or just when you want to translate a conversation. You can do that via listening mode, where you will just translate everything you can hear, or, and this is for me kind of the killer feature here, conversation mode, using both sides of the screen, so you can kind of sit at a table. That's pretty awesome, right? You can see the Fold like this and have it translate the conversation for people on each side of the device. So I can see the translation of what you're saying, and whatever I'm saying will be translated to you, so you can read it here. Sorry, I guess you can read it here. Another useful feature, is not new, but there's a little bit of a tweak now, is Live Translate. It's now supporting real-time translation of calls, but now even with third-party apps like WhatsApp. And Chat Assist as well, which seems to be an improvement on Writing Assist. I love anything to do with improving the speed at which I type or send messages. It will help you respond to messages, which is not new, right? But it will do this based on your previous messages. That is huge for me, right? Because it makes sure that it keeps the same tone personalized to how you speak, how you write. But if you want to, you can of course change the format and the tone as well, just like you can with Writing Assist. Sometimes you do want to sound a little bit more professional if you're sending a message to your boss or whatever, and other times more casual. Look, I mentioned this in my previous reviews. Out of all of the AI features out there, Writing Assist, for me anyway, has been the most useful, and I'm really glad to see it evolving. Circle to Search is nice, but is more of a gimmick to me anyway. By the way, I know this is about the products, but I want to say a quick, huge thank you to all of you who support me here, my humble little channel. We came so far now, right? I'm here on YouTube on launch day, and that means a lot to me. And that's, I'm just a regular dad making YouTube videos in my spare time. And the fact that I was able to attend this event and produce these videos at this time, covering these wonderful products firsthand, is thanks to you. I will never take that for granted, and I'll never forget that. Much more to come as well. On with the video. One of the biggest, if not the biggest question that I got about the Fold, and I'm sure you as well, is about the cameras. The price to camera quality ratio, yeah, I totally just made that up. That's what you probably care about too, right? That camera, in the past anyway, hasn't been as good as the S series. As much as the Fold is a productivity beast, when you pay this much for a device in 2024, you kind of start to expect, cameras that are on par with flagship phones out there. Talking about pricing, the Fold 6 starts at $17.99 for the 256 gig, and the Flip starts at $10.49 for the 256 gig. But do check those deals at pre-order as well, because Samsung are always, they're always going to have some decent offers, especially if you're in North America. But worth checking that anyway, wherever you are. All the links down below and the QR code here will take you to the right place. Back to the cameras, I will be testing the Fold 6 in the next couple of weeks, and you can bet I will be doing a camera comparison against the iPhone, the S24 Ultra, and of course against the Fold 5 here as well. And the same goes for battery. I really hope the battery is good on this device. My S24 Ultra, recently anyway, has been a little bit hit and miss in that aspect. It's getting better now, to be fair, since the June update, but is nowhere near as good as my S23 Ultra was. With the Fold 6, for me, if that device is to really become my main device, which I'm kind of praying it does, the battery will play a huge part in it. The original question, right? Has Samsung done enough to continue to lead and compete in this foldable space? Honestly, I think they did, but I also think that they do need to start worrying about that section of the market that want a foldable. And you clearly, a lot of you have said this to me, you're not interested in this device until they become, wider. And I totally respect that, and I think Samsung are probably listening to that too. And knowing Samsung, I would not be surprised if they launched a completely new model just to cover that market share of wider display foldables. And who knows, right? Maybe that's where that rumored Fold Ultra will come in. Totally rumors, by the way, I haven't seen any evidence of that. And I could be wrong, but for people who love the Galaxy Z Fold, this is 100% a decent upgrade, and it ticks a lot of boxes. At least speaking for myself, it definitely felt like an upgrade. I've had both my hands and fingers full in the last few days unpacking everything. See what I did there? Not just a pretty face. And the good news for you is that you don't have to wait another week for the next video. Here are my other videos about Samsung products. Hope to see you there. See you soon.